Last shed hunt of the year. Gonna be walking all day, heading into a couple farms, family farms today with my dad and my brother starting out. So I'm headed into a gnarly, nasty bedding area. So we'll head up into here and see what we can pull out. Well, no luck yet, but there's no shortage of good sign in here. I've kind of been hitting some of these south-facing slopes, if you can see those, and there's some thermal cover up in here where they can lay, kind of stay out of the wind and let the sun beat on them. I'm honestly surprised that I haven't come across anything yet. There's some pretty solid trails through here, and my dad and brother haven't found anything yet either. Hi. We're still empty-handed coming to sheds, but... Huh? Is that a GoPro? Yeah. Travis and I are still empty-handed. How good do they do?
What? He's trying the video. Here, just
they're good.
Pause it so you can
I'll just stop it. Creek's too deep, but after we get done with this side, we'll hop over here. We got a bunch of south-facing slopes over there and a whole nother creek bottom, so we're just gonna keep going south till we run out of our property, and we're starting to get into what we think is the core area of where these deer were late season, so hopefully we can bring you a shed here in a minute. I want to find the buck that was making this.
That's pretty good drop in the trail.
Yeah, that tree's as big around as my thigh. So I was just saying, I'd like to find the buck that made that. Do you want to all go up top and we'll spread out and cover the top, or we stay side hill and bottom? Okay. Do you want to slide over a little bit, Trav? You never mind, you just cover the bottom. I'm gonna kind of cover this side hill and east half of the top. Okay. Dad and I are gonna take the top. I'm kind of gonna look down this side hill, and then Travis is way down there in the bottom. He's kind of going to follow the creek and hit some of the little oxbows and stuff that are down there. And Dad and I are going to take this top right next to the ag fields. One of the most useful tools I have when I'm shed hunting is my pair of binoculars. They save me a lot of time, a lot of walking, because if I question anything, even in the timber, like, I can focus good enough to see it. And my go-to pair are these Vortex Razor 10x42s, and I mean, they're crystal clear, focus really well, and I can just pick stuff out at close or far ranges and save myself from having to walk all over the place trying to find a specific antler or wondering if something actually is one. So if there's one thing, I may have just spotted a shed. See, here's one of those instances where it's not a shed. See, I just saved myself about 40 yards, 50 yards of walking and determined what I was looking at was not a shed. So anyway, like I was saying, if there's one tip that I can give, if there's a one single tool for shed hunting, definitely get you a good pair of Vortex binoculars. Well, collectively, according to Onyx, I'm almost 2 miles in on the feet. Same would go with my dad and brother, and we have 0 sheds. We're walking some really good area too, and just not finding the antlers. We're getting into the heart of it all, where everything seems to bed and congregate and everything meets. There's a pond and food all around it. So this is we're getting into the core area of where Tiny spent a lot of time, we think. So that was fun. Golly, idiot. Anyway, getting into a core area of where Tiny seemed to spend some time during the rut. I've searched a pretty good amount of area where I saw him a lot early season. Late season he kind of became a ghost. We saw him very sporadically on both sides of the farm, so hopefully he was just kind of a extremely nocturnal deer late season and we stumble across his antlers somewhere. But we're kind of getting into the center of where I think we're going to find him. And if we don't, then, well, then I'm wrong. And that's definitely not the first time, and it will not be the last. Now let's see if we can find him. I'm going to loop this big 35-acre field. I'm going to walk around the entire edge of it. See if I don't come across something. I just spotted a really nice buck dead on the other side of this creek. I kind of went through here, and it's just across the creek, but it's so deep right now that I can't get to it. So I gotta find a tree or something that's laid across so I can go get it. Man, that water's rushing. So I gotta find a down tree so I can get across to the other side of the farm to grab it. So I'll come back to you when I get him picked up and found. I'll have to call the game warden and get a salvage tag. So looks like a nice one. I'm hoping it's not Tiny. It doesn't look quite big enough to be Tiny, but it might be a different deer that I know. So we'll find out. Well, we came around to the other side of the creek, and I was looking at Onyx, and it's actually on a neighboring property. And we just went up to the house, knocked on the door, and told them what we found, and they said to go ahead and we could come recover it. So we're gonna head down here and take a look at it.
Right across the creek from our property.
Yeah, I was on my dad's cornfield, and I could just see it plain as day down in the bottom. So we're gonna walk down here and go pick him up. Definitely an EHD buck. Ain't much left of him. Huh. left side. EHD buck for sure. Real lightweight, chalky type antlers. Hate finding them like this, but part of the story, I guess. You recognize him at all?
Nope. Looks pretty decent though. I mean, not bad. Say it's the genetics from around here, you can tell. No, it's got just one little chew right there.
It's been 5 on one side and 4 on the other.
Yeah, it's
like
the
that
genetics that's running around here. They always seem to have some sort of a fork around this neighborhood.
Huh.
It's just been laying down here too. Right, seriously, right below their house.
I think it was an EHD buck. Right here next to the creek or something. Kind of cool.
Would have turned into a hell of a deer. This is from last year, dude. For sure,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Or he died in September.
No, definitely last year. Look at the mold that's built up on him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this probably was last fall of 2018.
Yeah.
Well, after we found that deadhead, the neighbor told us we could walk through the rest of theirs and go on north onto the other side of the creek, which belongs to us. So we're just gonna follow in the creek edge through some more thick bedding and see if we can come across a shed. This is getting to be rather frustrating. The amount of sign we're finding, the amount of deer we saw late season, and not finding anything. It's like March 20th or March 21st. There should be plenty of antlers on the ground by now. Well, we're finally on the board. Travis just called. We're trying to get back into a group to grid some more, and sounds like he found one. I don't know what it is yet, but we're gonna try and meet up and take a look at it, and then move on to some food sources again and some waterways. Might go across the road and see what we can find in there, but man, this has been a struggle. Let's see it. Today. Squirrel patch.
Found a pretty cool piece of wood too. See how the vine wrapped around it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'll do with that.
Where'd you find that one? Clear at the south end?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I walked in.
Coming up the driveway, and Spazoid spotted a shed in the ditch. Bring it here! Just pick it up and bring it here.
It's right here.
I know. Pick it up.
1 point, that's all it was sticking
Just
out.
1 point sticking out of the grass is all.
Out by the driveway. Laying in the ditch. Don't know how many times I've driven by that.
Sun shines on a
Quite
dog's
a
ass.
few. Probably driven by that 100 times.
That's been there a while.
That's all you could see. Right there and right there. When you're on, you're on. And I'm on.
No big heads here.
That's the fourth shed I've found from the seat of this truck this year.
So I was literally in my truck, and my brother was actually giving me a ride back to my truck, and when we were headed back up the hill, I saw this, what I thought was an antler along the side of the road, or along the side of this timber. But I didn't say anything, and I was like, well, I'll just glass it on the way back. It probably wasn't, because I literally walked within like 20 yards of this spot earlier inside the timber. I was just rolling down this hill, come down to where I could see, grab my binoculars, glassed it from the road, and it is a big antler. It's a big left side. Looks like the squirrels have been on it a little bit, but I'm pretty sure it's Tiny's left side. It is. It's Tiny's left side. Holy buckets. Wow. 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 Oh, man. Oh, yes. Oh, my Lord. Well, this is it. I'd like to know where his other side is. But this is Tiny's left side. The squirrels have gotten to him quite a bit. I knew this deer was here. I knew this deer was here. Been laying here all winter long, 100 yards off the road. He had a big old, he had a split G2. He's got so much off. He's probably missing 3 inches off of everything at least. But that was what I've been walking for all season. Now I really got to find the other side. I knew he was here somewhere. Oh man, that's so good to find that antler. Look at that. Oh man, I've been wanting to find this horn. My shed year is made. Oh. I'll be quite honest. I think I'm going to take this shed and have it fixed. I think I'm gonna have all the squirrel chewings fixed and have my buddy Rick fix it, or my buddy Greg. Both of them are good at repairing antlers, so I'll give it a try. Anyway, that's Tiny's left side. Oh, now let's see if we can find the other one. Oh, we just spent a couple hours gridding and looking for the other side. No luck yet. We're gonna wait for the ground to dry up just a little bit more. I think we're gonna take some ATVs and ride some terraces and fence rows and open ground, seeing if he dropped it in the middle of a field. But for now, we're gonna end out our day doing that same thing, but in some bigger waterways. We're gonna go out into a bean field and a chiseled corn field, but it's on a lot higher ground. Where we found that shed was in a really low ground. So we're gonna go to some higher ground, see if we can find some other bucks we're looking for, and that's kind of how we're gonna end out the day. So we'll see what we can find. Well, this whole waterway walking paid off. Oh man. It looks like this one actually got hit with the mower, so it might have dropped last year because the G4 is broken. But this is what I mean. Sometimes walking these waterways can just pay off. I was actually on the phone, or am on the phone, with Kelly talking about Tiny's shed, and I walked across this one. Let's see where that G4's broke. Anyway, Kelly, say hi everyone.
Hello.
Anyway, well, that's pretty cool. All right, last push of the night. Trying to find the other side of Tiny. Checking all south facing slopes, checking everywhere that I can think of that I haven't touched. Walking into areas that I have walked already from a different direction. On a final attempt for the day to try and find the other side.